The Incredibles was a superhero animated movie from Pixar all the way back at 2004, and this was one of my favorite movies growing up. Like, I was obsessed with this. Not to mention that it was also one of Pixar's most iconic and beloved movies ever. And this movie is still one of my favorite, and I always watch it from time to time. But ever since I was a kid, and I think I was like 10 or 9 the first time I watched it, this movie from the get-go had one scene, one particular scene, that ever since the first time I watched it, to this day, in my opinion, it's not just the most horrifying Pixar ever made, period, but it's also, by implication, one of the most horrifying, sinister, disgusting, sickening I've ever seen in a non-horror movie. And that scene is the Kronos Unveiled scene. I was a kid. I didn't know what the this scene meant, but my intuition was so high that I knew it was nothing good. In fact, it was something very, very screwed up. Like, it was genuinely up. And I used to get so fucking scared whenever this scene popped up. I would hide behind the couch or curl on the corner of the couch, hold like a pillow in front of me. It was actually horrifying. And you're gonna know why. It's actually up. Hold on. No. I'm gonna go line by line, point by point, why this is one of the most horrific scenes I've ever watched. It sends chill down my spine to this day. I'm not even joking with y'all. Now, because the story doesn't really focus on its world building and lore, it does imply it a lot here and there, but it mainly primarily focuses on the Incredibles family, Bob and Helen. So I'm just gonna do a quick recap of the world building. Hi, my name is Darius, and I'm gonna blow your minds. The movie starts in the 1940s and 1950s when it was called the golden era of superheroes. Superheroes were basically like celebrities but with superpowers. You had different heroes having different abilities with different levels of fame and popularity. Some of them were actually pretty nice. Some other ones were so fucking sociopathic you would wonder, why the fuck is this guy called a superhero? This guy's a menace to society. But regardless of their morals, their own personality quirks, whether they were good people or bad people, superheroes were a thing of the 1940s and 1950s America. They were the icons of the era. They were everywhere. They defined the era that they lived in. Now, just because they were everywhere and they were super famous, that does not mean that the public liked these superheroes that much. The hate that the public had towards these superheroes grows so fucking large that the government suddenly decides to completely disband the entire superhero activity. So if you were a superhero in the 1940s, 1950s, and you were at the height of your fame, popularity, power, and social standing, because suddenly your activity is completely illegalized by the government, you are forced into average, everyday civilian life. You can no longer be a superhero. You have to live like a normal person, have a normal job, and no more superheroing, supervillaining, none of that. A very big reason behind this illegalization was that they found out that these superheroes were not being at all responsible with how they were doing their superheroism. Property damage, lawsuits, anything you can think of it. These superheroes were having a detrimental effect to the society that they were supposed to protect. So it is kind of understandable and justifiable from the government's perspective and from the society's perspective. When you have superheroes, they're supposed to decrease the collateral damage because a superhero is supposed to be incredibly responsible and careful with the damages and whatever potential risks that might be with their job. But in this era of 1940s and 1950s, the so-called golden era, what we get to see and what is insinuated to us is that these superheroes are incredibly irresponsible with their activity. But again, regardless, these superheroes were icons of that era. And fast forward 10, 20 years in the future, these superheroes and icons no longer exist. The superheroes are a thing of the past. They belong to the 1940s and 1950s. The golden era is way past everyone. So in the modern day, we follow the life of the Incredibles. Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl married. Bob and Helen, they have a family now. And even though that Helen is a wonderful wife and she takes care of the kids, she makes sure that the entire family is completely safe and away from harm, Bob is still reminiscing about the past, about his peak of fame, popularity, power, and social standing. He loves his family, don't get me wrong, but he's still stuck in the past. He has a midlife crisis. He hates his job. In fact, he gets fired. And in general, he just doesn't have that much going for him other than his family. Until one day, somebody calls him and says, "Hello there, Mr. Incredible. We are a unknown top secret government organization, and we need your help. You see, we have this super mega duper ultra mega weapon that's gone completely haywire. We need you to take it down. We know how much nostalgic you feel about the past. We know you're having a midlife crisis right now. Think about this as being a superhero activity. You know, you're doing your civil duties as a superhero, you know. Think of this as you're returning to your old tradition. You know, think of this as you're still doing your superhero thing. Don't worry about it. Put on your suit." Yeah, what the fuck am I doing? I'm doing a fucking Jersey accent. What the fuck am I doing? So think about this as you going back to the old habits. Think about this as you putting on the suit and being a superhero again. You know, the good old days, the golden era of the 1940s, 1950s America, where superheroes were icons of their time. You get to be that again. You just have to take out our super mega duper weapon. Oh, and don't forget, this is very important, The mega weapon has an adaptive intelligence, which means the longer you fight it, the harder it's gonna get for you to kill it, and for it, it's gonna get easier to kill you. Good luck with that. Welcome back to the superhero life, Mr. Incredible. That was the shit that they pitched to him, by the way. That was the shit they pitched to him. And he fucking ate it up. Bob was so burnt out from life that the idea of putting that suit back on and doing superheroism again was so thrilling to him that he just like did it. He didn't even think twice about it. He just did it. He went back and did it. Fast forward a little bit. He fights the giant like mega weapon. What was the fucking called? What was the thing called again? Mega droid? Omni droid, sorry. Bob fights the Mega Droid a couple of times, it's kind of insinuated, and he's feeling great. You know, he feels like he's top of his game again. He's spending a lot of time with his family, with his kids. He enjoys a lot of private times with Helen, as we know a man will.
I was like, damn, nigga, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up.
And you know, shit seems to be going very well for him. Fast forward a little bit later, and we realize that the guy behind the entire project is a villain called Syndrome, who used to be a big Mr. Incredibles fan. And he wants to kill him now. In fact, he wants to kill all of them now. We'll get to that. Bob gets away. Syndrome thinks he's dead. Bob sneaks his way back into Syndrome's base, and he goes all the way until he finds Syndrome's personal mega computer. And this is where shit starts hitting the fan. I'm not kidding. You have no fucking clue. Now, I am gonna completely and thoroughly analyze this entire scene for you, so your baby brain doesn't have to be bothered with all the extra heavy lifting. I'm gonna do it all for you, all right? I have to lay out exactly why the fuck this scene is such a horrifying masterpiece. I'm gonna start with the frame. This frame is so masterfully put together, you actually see a couple of things at the same time. In the beginning of the frame, we have two elements, Bob and the computer display screen. Bob is covered in complete shadows and darkness, in complete contrast to the white and bright display screen. Bob is right behind the display screen, and we're seeing both of them at the same time. But another interesting thing happens. The display screen splits into two halves, the right side and the left side. On the left side, what is shown to us is a list of superheroes. And the way that we see this list is by looking at the pictures of these heroes that were taken from the 1940s, 1950s. The golden era. Not today, the golden era. And at the right side, we see this minimalist, simplistic design for a droid, the Omni droid, Syndrome's personal mega weapon. And then what happens next, it's so... Oh my fucking god. This is actually very fucked up. Okay. The computer just starts writing off the names of the superheroes. One by one. Terminated, 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 terminated. Killed, killed, killed. Dead, dead, dead. One by one, every single of these superheroes start getting killed. 4 or 5 superheroes dying. One superhero survives, kills the Omni droid, but then the next version of the Omni droid immediately kills him. Right after. And then the next list, and dead, and dead, and dead. Killed, killed, killed. This is fucked up. Now, I know to you, it's like, oh, well, he's obviously like training the Omni droid to like adapt to the specific powers of each one of these individual superheroes. Like, what? So, yeah, obviously they're gonna die. Motherfucker, don't you understand what that insinuates? Are you a fucking dumbass? Are you retarded? These pictures, what we see of these superheroes, are not their modern day pictures where they're not at their peak. It's like it's degrading them. We see the pictures, the photos that were taken of these superheroes back when they were icons, back when they were celebrities, back when they were so iconic, they were the defining feature of an era, like the 1940s. That's what we are seeing. Yeah, of course, they don't have that popularity right now, but it's kind of like a mockery. It's like we seeing the peak version of these superheroes, and they're all dying. And the way that we get to see these things is not through the realistic, oh, well, these heroes were no longer at their peak. No, it's kind of a mockery of their grace, or like the iconography that they used to have back in those good old days, back in the golden era. And it's sickening. It's like you're pushing these superheroes down a meat grinder, and they're trying to resist. They're like pushing their heads out. They're trying to get out, and you're pushing them further down, and you're pushing them down a meat grinder for a joke, kind of an experiment to like make your mega weapon learn better ways and faster, more efficient ways to kill these superheroes. You're feeding it data by sacrificing these icons to this machine so it gets more efficient at killing them. It's so sickening. I was a kid and I didn't know what it meant, but the music, the ominous freaking music, and the direction, the mastery of this entire layout, of the insinuations behind it. This is a freaking kids' family movie. Like, these heroes that were stomped to death, their limbs were completely torn apart, they were ripped in half. They were like shredded to pieces by razor sharp blades. They were like, some of them were like torched. Some of them were like probably fucking burned alive. Like, it's actually fucking sick. And it just keeps crossing over the names of all of these iconic weapons. It's actually fucked up. And like, the fucked up thing is that, is like when you're looking at the display screen, you have this like beautiful, iconic, like graceful pictures that were taken of these like heroes. And then they are all getting killed by this simplistic, minimalistic, industrial machine. You don't even know what size it has. It might as well like be like medium car size, and then it keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's so fucking horrifying. It sends chill down my spine to this day. Like, this scene is so well executed, so well directed. Like, fucking kudos. This is horrifying as shit. It's sinister. It's sickening. It's actually disgusting. And you know something more disgusting? You don't know this, but here's the thing. I'm so smart. The last time I watched it, I actually put the puzzles together all by myself. I didn't read this shit from anywhere. I like rewatched the movie and I came up with it myself. You know how they lured these superheroes into their own private island? You know how Syndrome did that? I'm willing to bet 99% of them, all of them feel the exact same way that Bob did. All of them feel like Bob. Midlife crisis, unsatisfied with their lives, have no plans for the future, having an unsatiable, nostalgic feeling for the past, for an era that is way past them, reminiscing about the good old days, reminiscing about the height of their popularity, their fame, their glory, their social standing. And now they see a justifiable reason, like a justification to put on the suit again, to again be that superhero. And you know how I know that? You know how I know that the way that Syndrome brought all of these heroes to his island was through luring them with nostalgia, by trying to feed them little tiny bits and pieces of those heroism days. And then out of like a sheer act of desperation, these heroes like put back their suits and go back and try to do some superheroing, and they not knowing that the mega weapon waiting for them on the island is going to completely rip them apart in brutal fucking ways. It's because of Gazer Beam. Gazer Beam is wearing his superhero outfit. You think he'd be wearing that shit if he was like in civilian clothing and he was kidnapped? No! No! Every single one of these superheroes were feeling incredibly nostalgic about the past. They have no plans for the future. A lot of them hate their lives. A lot of them are struggling with their personal lives. And this is what lures them back in. It's so fucked up, dude. It's so interesting that how a lot of these kids' family movies or animated shows or whatever, you're a child and you don't know exactly what they mean, what they're insinuating. But when you get older and you have like more than just 2 brain cells and you're a little bit more mature, and then you go, oh my God. Oh, so that's what they meant. I didn't know. Oh, wow. That's actually kind of screwed up, man. But yeah, it was genuinely very fucked up. I had to just share this. I had to share my own personal trauma. Anyway, it was crazy. I really have no idea. I don't know how to finish this video. Like, I don't know how to do outros. How about this? Like, subscribe, and go watch my videos. Piece of shit.